Welcome to another Vixa Vaughn romance audiobook. We're excited to have you join us. Whether you're into second chance romance, enemies to lovers, fake marriage, or any other trope, Vixa Vaughn offers you the chance to escape into stories that will carry you away into heart-pounding romance and gripping characters. While we want to get you the full experience, some parts of this audiobook are abridged to stay abreast of YouTube's community guidelines. If you want the full experience, you can always head to Vixa Vaughn Romance and use code VIXA40 to get the unabridged version of this audiobook for 40% off. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Chapter 1. Isaac. I place my skate guards in their usual spot before I step onto the ice. Breathing the cold air from the rink, I take my first glide on the ice. I adjust my sleeves and pull them lower to my wrists. Moving on the ice has always been easier to me than moving on land. I feel like I belong here in the rink. When I was younger, it seemed like the only place where I could finally be free. I loved going here and spending time just skating until my legs turned to jelly. But when I started competing, I figured quickly that I don't have the freedom on ice I thought I had. It took off some of my excitement, I guess. I still love skating, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it can get kind of suffocating when the thing that was supposed to be just a hobby turned into your entire career. The day my mom brought me to my first ever ice rink changed my life. She and I might not have realized it then. I wonder what she would think of me competing in a field we once only thought to be just for fun. Shaking my head to clear thoughts of my mom, I speed up my glides. I do a few rounds around the rink, trying to stretch out some kinks before I go over my usual routine. My partner and coach are still not here, but then again, I came to the rink earlier than usual. I love early mornings in the rink before the other skaters come in. That's why I make it a point to come here earlier to enjoy the silence and psych myself for practice. The Four Continents is more or less only a month away, so instead of thinking of the holidays, I spend my days and many nights thinking about perfecting our programs to get that gold, or even just a step on that podium. It's a miracle we even qualified for it. A year earlier, and I'm sure we'd just be stuck. But this season we did, though not with some hiccups. We barely reached the TES, with Vanessa losing her balance twice and screwing up her spins. I know I should also be to blame for it. Essentially, even though we've been skating together for almost 4 years, I still couldn't match Vanessa's speed. After my fourth round around the rink, I see Vlad, our coach, come in. I wave to him, but he either doesn't see me, which is impossible since there are only 2 other skaters, or he's got bad news because he doesn't return it. Frowning, I skate over to him and step out of the rink. I put on my skate guards and walk to him. Vlad is sitting on one of the chairs. I sit beside him. Vlad has only been our coach for the past year, and yet under him, Vanessa and I have improved so much. "We have a problem," he huffs out, crossing his arms. He ruffles his gray hair and turns to me, his blue eyes serious. I place my hands on my knees and brace myself for the bad news. "The other sponsor dropped," he says in a low voice tinged with his heavy Russian accent. "You and Vanessa only have a sponsorship left." I squeeze my eyes shut and look away to the young skaters in the rink. "You know what that means to you, moy malchik?" Vlad taps me to look at him, and I can see the worry and frustration I'm feeling on his face. "If you don't stand on that podium at 4 Continents, you might not be able to compete any further. Sure, figure skating looks magical and we make it look easy. What people don't realize is how expensive it is to compete, especially for bigger championships. There are expenses for flying to places, the costumes, the choreographers, and the coach." I purse my lips. My hands shake, and I know it's not from the cold. With our record, we can't afford to lose this season if we want to secure our place for the Olympics. I also can't afford to wait another 4 years for the next chance. We barely had a spot for the teams to compete in South Korea next year, and I'll be damned if we would have no choice but to drop it. "I have an idea," Vlad suddenly says, "but I'm not sure if you'll like it." I bite the inside of my cheek and wait for him to continue. "How about you reach out to your brother, yes?" he asks. "I'm sure he'll help you." I grit my teeth to keep myself from yelling or doing anything violent. If there's one person I'll never ask for help, it's Samuel. I've never really gotten along with him, even when I lived with him under the same roof. Suffice to say, hell would freeze over before I'd ask him for help. I tell Vlad as much. He nods grimly at my statement and doesn't push further. I understand, but we'll have to work extra hard to win 4 continents, or this will be the last for the season. And we both know you couldn't afford, and the situation is dire for Vanessa. I know what he means. At least I went to the Olympics. Vanessa hasn't. And that's what we've been aiming to do for as long as we paired together. We'll find other sponsors, I say firmly, hoping that's actually true. We don't need his help. Suddenly, the rink door opens and closes, distracting my attention from Vlad. It's my partner, Vanessa. My breath catches when I catch a glimpse of her face. There's no denying that Vanessa is pretty with her caramel skin that I've seen glow under the rink lights, dimpled smile, and expressive brown eyes. Those eyes have always distracted me during practices. I turn away from them when the pull gets too strong, which in turn frustrates Vlad. He's always yelling at us for not working on our chemistry. I tell him it's not that, but the reason for it would only upset her. I know she doesn't look anything like Kirsten, my old partner and girlfriend. But every time I look at Vanessa, she always reminds me of Kirsten. I know I shouldn't compare them, but I can't help it. Sometimes I'd be in the middle of practice with her, and I'd just catch myself comparing them. She walks to us with a bright smile, and abruptly I look away. It's not fair for me to continue comparing her to Kirsten. She's my partner now, and I should only think of her as such. "Hi, sorry I'm late," she says, dumping her suitcase and grabbing her skates. She starts putting them on, and I'm briefly distracted by her shapely legs. Blinking rapidly, I clear my throat and turn away again. Vlad waves off her apology. "It's fine, Zajic. Get on the ice, both of you. We're working on your lifts today."
Chapter 2. Vanessa. After the first round of practice, Vlad pulls me aside to tell me about the other sponsorship dropping us. This catches me by surprise, and I realize that must be what they were talking about when I walked in this morning. It kind of annoys me that Vlad talked to Isaac about it before me. We're partners after all, and I deserve to know at the same time as him. However, when he explained that he thought of asking Isaac to reach out to his brother, I understand why he told him first. Unfortunately, all of that did absolutely nothing for our benefit. Isaac still won't talk to his brother, and Vlad even quoted him something about hell freezing over. I shake my head, watching my partner while sipping on the coffee Vlad brought me. He's still as stubborn as ever. Even now that we're on a break from practice, he still insists on working on his elements. There's no denying that Isaac is a gifted skater. Anyone with 2 eyes who can tell the difference between an axel jump and the Lutz jump would tell you as much. I guess he's one of those people who were born to be on ice. However, once he decides on something, there's no stopping the guy. Admittedly, that's one of the things I admire about him. He's unwavering. But that doesn't mean it always ends up as a good thing. I sigh and switch songs I've been listening to on my phone. I don't know much about Isaac's family. He doesn't talk about them. Or if he does, certainly not to me. But I know his brother's rich and he came from a rich family. Other than that, I don't know much else. When we first paired, the guy would barely talk to me, so I really didn't expect him to share about his family. I'd try to talk to him during breaks and communicate during practice in hopes that it would bring us closer as partners, but Isaac is adamant on building a wall between us. It doesn't matter if he asks his brother for help or not. As long as he does his part during the 4 continents and we win, that's good enough for me. However, I know how important funding and sponsorships are. I'd be an idiot to think otherwise. Ice skating is expensive, and competing in events as big as 4 continents will cost a lot. The subsequent competitions even cost a lot more. I know Mom and Grandpa will try their best to support my finances, but training and membership in this rink alone is expensive. I don't want them to work over backwards to give me money. I sigh again, opening my social media. I'm idly scrolling through when an article catches my attention. My thumb stops and I click on the article. Now that everyone's excited for next year's Winter Olympics, the article talks about all the pair skaters who took their chemistry on ice off to real life. My eyes scan the familiar names and an idea clicks. All of these skaters got massive sponsorships and became crowd favorites after announcing their relationships off ice. Come to think of it, didn't Isaac date his previous partner? A sharp pang strikes against my chest. Of course. How could I forget? Isaac was in a relationship with his partner before me. I know of them, but haven't really paid attention to it. Vlad doesn't know much too since he only came in last year. I wonder if Isaac thinks of me the same way he thought before about his partner. No, that can't be right. At best, we're friends. At worst, we're basically strangers. It's not a secret that Isaac was hesitant to pair up with me. He didn't say it out loud, but I felt it in the first few months we started to skate together. He wouldn't talk to me, and when I do try, he'd look away. On ice, it's not any different, really. And to think we've been skating together for 4 years, and I'm sure as day Isaac still doesn't consider me a friend. But the idea of dating Isaac, or at least fake dating, isn't too far off. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has done it at some point. I'm sure celebrities do it all the time. I pick up my coffee and rush to find Vlad as fast as I can on my skates. I find him just outside by the vending machine. I have an idea, I tell him without preamble. He straightens, pops his Coke open, and raises a brow at me. Okay, listen, I inhale and gather my thoughts. What if Isaac and I date? Vlad knits his brows in disbelief. Are you two dating? I huff out a breath and roll my eyes. No, Vlad, but what if we are? Do you think that would bring in more publicity and then in turn sponsorships? Don't people love a good real love and real love story? What are you talking about? I'm thinking, what if Isaac and I fake date for the sake of getting more attention? If we can maybe get more attention, we can get more sponsorship to go to other competitions, and Isaac doesn't have to ask his brother for anything. Vlad stares at me, and then without saying anything, walks back to the rink. I follow after him, not sure if I pissed him off with my idea. The idea doesn't sound too absurd in my head. When I enter the rink again, Vlad is already by the ice. Vlad stops in his usual spot where he watches us practice and calls Isaac over. My eyes widen when Isaac skates over to us. Panting, he leans over the board. Vanessa has an idea, I hear Vlad tell him. I quicken my pace and reach them just in time for Vlad to finish explaining my earlier idea. Isaac turns to me and looks at me like I'm crazy. I bite my lip and stare at the floor, wishing it'll open up and swallow me. You know it could work, Vlad continues saying, like he hasn't noticed Isaac giving me dirty looks. I don't think this will be a problem if you just pretend to be a couple. You don't have to date, obviously, but just pretend. I do, Isaac snaps at Vlad, but he's looking at me. I think it's a problem, and I'm not doing it. He turns and skates away. We watch him return to practicing without a second glance at us. Vlad lets out a loud sigh and mutters something in Russian under his breath. Well, that didn't go well, he says. I shrug, trying to erase the memory of the disgusted look Isaac has given me. I didn't expect him to agree with it anyway, but it was worth a shot. I guess we just have to win, don't we, Vlad? Vlad claps my shoulder softly. I'm sure you'll win.
Chapter 3. Isaac. Isaac, time your spins with Vanessa's, and look into her eyes. This is a dance, not your high school prom. I hear Vlad yell for the 5th time since we started our second session of practice. My shoulders are starting to ache, and I just know I won't be able to sleep soundly tonight. I guess I'll be sleeping with an ice pack again. But her spins are too fast, I mutter to myself, but nod at Vlad. Disapproving lines are etched on his face. I don't want to disappoint him, especially this close to the competition. If I can't do it during practice, it'll be a wreck during the competition. They're not. Vanessa hears me and defends herself. You're not building up the proper momentum. You know I'm glad we're not ice skating because I'm sure we won't be able to do jumps at the same time. The words sting, but she says it so mildly I can't falter. Vanessa might say something scathing, but they're true, and she says it with consideration, so I can't really be mad at her. Besides, I know she started out in figure skating, and I've seen videos of her jumps. If she says I wouldn't be able to match her jumps, she might be more or less right. When I first paired with Vanessa, I wasn't too sure if she could adjust to ice dancing, but it only took a little time for her to show me she can. She still distracts me, but she's an amazing partner. I have to give her that. To be honest, I have a hard time concentrating on the practice ever since Vlad told me about her idea of us fake dating to gain potential sponsors. I'm still appalled that Vanessa thought of something like that. I've never pegged her for someone who'd turn to that sort of thing. We're not some celebrities desperate for attention, for God's sake. I understand that Vlad has told her about our lack of sponsors, but we're not that desperate to turn to some scam to gain attention. If it's up to me, I can fund our competitions myself, but I still don't have full access to my inheritance. If I had, we wouldn't have to think of this sort of problem at all. I'd be able to pay for the both of us. But still, the idea doesn't sit well with me. We're professional ice skaters, and I'll not have my career go down the drain because of this. Kirsten would never think of something like this, and suggest it to our coach at that, without even talking to me first. She's not the type to sink that low just for sponsorship. Kirsten has her pride just as I have, and we both would scoff at the very idea of it. If Vanessa knows her capabilities and is confident that we'll win, she doesn't have to think about those damn sponsorships. Kirsten has never come up with anything as stupid as... I catch myself and stumble, knee hitting the ice. I wince at the impact. Hitting the ice feels like dropping on concrete. If anything, it's worse than that. Clenching my jaw, I brace on hand on the ice to stop myself from fully falling face first into it. I hope that it won't bruise. Are you okay? Vanessa skates towards me and bends down to meet my eyes. Her brows are knitted together in genuine concern for me. Swallowing thickly, I feel guilty for thinking about her that way. That's right. Vanessa is my partner now. I really need to stop comparing her to Kirsten. It doesn't matter if Kirsten will think this or do that, because at the end of the day, it's Vanessa I'm with. I need to remember that and stop letting Kirsten dominate my thoughts. It won't do well for either of us if I continue to think of her. She's gone now. She left me, and I have Vanessa now. I shake my head and pull myself up. I rub my hands down my pants to get rid of the moisture and ice shavings. I'm fine. Are you? Vanessa tilts her head to look up to me. It's one of the challenges we've overcome quite well for pair dancers, our height difference. Surprisingly, it was only a problem for a few months and we easily got rid of it. You seem distracted. Are you still upset with my suggestion? I consider lying and telling her I even have forgotten about it, but I can't. It's evident that Vanessa trusts me, so it's only fair I should too. After all, we're partners. Any misunderstanding we have off ice will reflect on ice. That's what happened with me and Kirsten. All our frustrations showed on ice, and instead of the emotions our dance wants to convey, people saw that we're not getting along. Stop! I reprimand myself. Stop thinking about Kirsten, God damn you! I'm sorry, Vanessa continues, fidgeting with the hem of her arm warmers. I just thought maybe that'll help us get sponsors. I feel bad for blasting her even if it's just in my head. I was rude to her and Vlad. She sniffs, her nose and cheeks shivering from the cold. I almost forget we've been here since morning. Are you sure you can't talk to your brother for help? My palms curl into fists, and my neck burns at the mention of my brother again. No, I won't do it. Vanessa blinks at me, and whatever she sees on my face makes her take a step backwards. I blink at her action and almost reach out to apologize and tell her I'm not angry with her, but something stops me. I want to tell her that it won't do us any good to ask Samuel, and it'll only make matters worse when he starts being a jerk. Instead, I sigh again. We'll find a way to get sponsorships, Vanessa. Right now, we have to focus on the competition. I'm sure Vlad isn't satisfied with how our programs are turning out, and there's only a bit of time before the 4 continents. We both glance to where Vlad is leaning forward on one of the boards, scowling at us. She bites her lip and nods. I know what you mean. So, we need to be ready then. I swallow the lump down my throat. I'm sure when we win, we'll get more sponsorship. Vanessa finally looks up again and meets my eyes, flashing me with her dimpled smile that almost makes me topple back again. When we win. I nod and take her hand to resume practice. The heat from her palm is comforting. When we win.
Chapter 4. Vanessa. It's almost time for us to step on the ice. We're set to perform in a few minutes for our long program. I watched pair after pair perform their programs, and the longer I stood there, the more anxious I got. We arrived in Taiwan a few days ago and performed our short program without any hiccups. It's my first time in Taipei, and I'd have wanted to go sightseeing. However, we're not here for that. I stare at my reflection and grip the sink tighter until my knuckles turn white. I ran to the bathroom after watching the Russian team perform their program. It's the first time we'll be performing this routine, and it makes me want to throw up. We trained intensively the last few weeks before 4 continents. I still have to constantly ice my back and calves from it. But all of that has started paying off. During practices, we've done the program to a near perfection, so I'm hoping the same will happen today. Trying to calm my breathing, I bend over the sink and wash my hands again. I grab some paper towels and dry them. They're shaking. Frowning, I try to steady my fingers. They can't shake now, not when I only have a few minutes. I dab the sweat forming between my brows with the paper towel, careful not to smudge my makeup. My costume hidden under the coat I'm wearing bears both of my shoulders. It's pale pink with embroidered rhinestones to look like flowers, imitating Daisy Buchanan's dress in the Great Gatsby poster. My hair is held back into a bun, and my makeup is done quite well. If I wasn't so close to vomiting, I'd go as far as say I look quite good. My attention snaps to the comfort room entrance when a brunette walks in. She's also dressed for the competition in an emerald green costume. She disappears into a cubicle and then reappears a moment later. She takes the sink next to me and washes her hand. With a start, I realize it is Kirsten Priest, Isaac's old partner. I dart a quick look at her that unfortunately turned to full-on staring. Wow, she's beautiful. She's not wearing any jacket or coat, so I'm guessing she'll also be performing soon. She's not much taller than me, but she's definitely fitter and more athletic. Her limbs are endless and toned. Her costume fits her perfectly, and sleeves make her look like she has butterfly wings. She straightens up and catches me looking at her. I quickly look away and hope she doesn't think I'm too weird or rude. Of course, I know about Kirsten Priest. When I first paired up with Isaac, I read every article I could find about her. To say that it's an obsession is an understatement. Kirsten is the darling of the ice dancing world. When she was still with Isaac, their relationship was made public and everyone loved them together. I was younger than them, but even in the junior singles, they're still famous. I don't know the whole story about their breakup, but I heard that when Kirsten left, it wasn't in amiable terms. Gossip around the rink says that she didn't inform Isaac, and news of her switching to another partner came from the sports articles. Isaac must have felt awful. I can only imagine the hurt he must have felt when he found out. "Aren't you Vanessa Heaton?" she asks, throwing her used paper towel to the bin. She turns to me and just one hip to lean on the sink. I clear my throat. a little flustered that Kirsten Priest knows my name, and flash her a friendly smile. You know me? She nods, but her face remains passive. You're Isaac's new partner. I'm Kirsten. I nod, my smile not disappearing. Yes, I'm his new partner. I saw your short program before. You're amazing on ice. I mean, I've seen you before too, but it's the first time I'll be competing against you. It kind of feels surreal. She crosses her arms and raises one arched brow. Is everything going well with you and Isaac? Yes, I affirm. We're working well together and aim to win in the Olympics. We hope that we can win here too. She snorts in disbelief. The Olympics? You think you can get Isaac to win in the Olympics? I blink, taken aback by her reaction. I open my mouth to say something. Something about her implication feels like a stab directly to my heart. Kirsten steps to me, closing the distance between us until she's standing right in front of me. Let's make something perfectly clear, Little Miss Replacement. I clench my hands into a ball, my nails digging into the soft flesh of my palm. Isaac took you in so he can continue competing, she says matter-of-factly. That much is obvious, don't you think? I mean, why you? Who knows? But everyone knows that I will always be Isaac's best partner. I've never once had any bad thoughts regarding Isaac's previous partner. Considering I don't know what actually went down between them, I thought I was in no position to make assumptions about her character. Hell, even in the rink, they still talk about her as if she still goes there. But not once has Isaac talked to me about Kirsten. Everything I know of her came from news articles and word of mouth around the rink. Nothing could have prepared me for her viper tongue. And to think that she's implying that Isaac's only using me and we won't be winning in the Olympics? That's just straight up mean and rude. I'll never tell that to someone I only met a few minutes ago. I won't tell that to someone, period. If you're his best partner, then why are you pairing up with someone else? I ask her, standing my ground and straightening my shoulders. You two were partners for almost 10 years, and you dropped him just like that. An amateur like you wouldn't get that I had to do that, so I can continue winning, she retorts back without any trace of remorse in her voice. Isaac was stuck. I was getting nowhere with him. Well, I'm here now, and we're getting on that podium, better partner or not, I tell her, raising my brow the same ways he did hers. If she thinks a mean girl can intimidate me, she's damn wrong. She doesn't look like she believes me, though. We'll see about that. Kirsten turns and saunters away from me. Belatedly, I notice there's a figure standing just outside of the bathroom, but I immediately recognize who it is. Her steps don't falter, not even when she walks past Isaac. Isaac's head is turned my way, but his eyes stray to Kirsten's. The look on Isaac's face just solidified my determination to see us step onto that podium.
Chapter 5. Isaac. Vanessa didn't look too good when she left to run to the comfort room. She barely told us before she took off running. Vlad had asked me to look for her since we'll be performing soon. Shaking my head and adjusting the collar of my costume, I checked the nearest restroom for her. My breath hitches when I see a familiar face exit the restroom. I can briefly make out Vanessa's shape inside by the sink, but all my attention is on the woman striding towards me. I almost forgot how beautiful Kirsten looks, and it hits me like a bullet train. My heart slams against my chest, looking down at her stunning face. Even when we were together, it always catches me off guard how beautiful Kirsten looks. How many times have I had her close to me? How many times have I seen that face on ice? It's impossible to count after the many years we've been together. My hand itches to grab her, to feel her skin against mine again. Her eyes flicker to my direction, but I only see emptiness in them. I stiffen when she passes by me. Admittedly, it hurts that she didn't even bother to talk to me, or at least regard me with anything other than a side eye. Wasn't it she who betrayed me? Wasn't it Kirsten who left me hanging without any explanation? She didn't tell me she'd be leaving. We fought a lot, but never in my wildest dreams did I think about dropping her. She clearly didn't think the same way because she did do it to me just like that. My fists curl into balls again. I turn just to see her join her new partner. She flashes him a smile and my gut clenches. It's the same smile she gives me before every competition. The sound of skate blades clinking snaps me out of my thoughts. Vanessa stomps towards me, face flush and jaw set. She didn't look like the scared girl that ran to the restroom minutes ago. Instead, she looks like she's out for blood. "What happened?" I ask, grabbing her wrist. She stops for a beat before twisting away from me. She follows the direction I was looking at just to catch Kirsten and her partner disappear into the rink. "Did Kirsten say something?" "Does it matter?" She snaps, and I've never seen her eyes flare with so much fire, it takes me by surprise. "What happened between you two is between you guys. You should keep me out of it. In fact, I want to be out of it." I frown at this. I know Kirsten has a sharp tongue, but I didn't realize she might use it against Vanessa. Knowing Vanessa, she's not someone who'd win in a verbal altercation with Kirsten. Vanessa doesn't say anything else and walks back to the rink. Her tiny fists are clenched and swinging at her side, but her posture is steady. We watch Kirsten and her partner, Nathan Oswald, just as they were in the middle of their program. Vanessa doesn't look at Vlad or me when she removes her coat and sets it by the chair to get ready for our performance. Kirsten still doesn't meet my eyes when they finish their dance and make their way off the ice. I know she saw me, but she's deliberately ignoring me, giving all her attention to the spectators. Finally, it's our turn to perform. I hold out my hands for Vanessa after removing my skate guards and giving them to Vlad. His boyfriend, Yuri, takes Vanessa's. Vanessa exhales heavily before taking my hand. Vlad doesn't say anything but nods at us. The lack of pep talk actually works well for both of us. If he tells us any last-minute advice, it might mess up our concentration. Together, we make our way to the middle of the ice and flash the crowd our biggest smile. At the first note of the Kill and Run by Sia, my mind locks and my muscles move on their own by memory. We're performing the Great Gatsby medley for the first time for our long program. We've been working so hard for this, and the movements come to us so easily. I do my best to maintain eye contact with Vanessa, and even during the dance I can still see the anger in them. My ears ring from the loud cheer when we end our performance. Vanessa is smiling, but I can still see the hardness in her jaw. We executed our program flawlessly. Even Vlad has a big smile on his face when we skate back towards him. I'm still holding Vanessa's hand when we make our way to the kiss and cry. We watch anxiously as our scores show on screen. I stare at the numbers on screen and make a quick calculation with our scores from the short program. "We're second," I breathe out, turning to Vanessa. "We're second, Van." Her face crumples into happy tears and I grab her shoulders, engulfing her in a hug. I feel Vlad and Yuri joining in our hug and we all laugh. When they announce the winners, my smile doesn't falter. Though we only place second, we still have a place in the podium. Kirsten and her partner win first, but it doesn't matter. We won and will continue winning. That moment of her making Vanessa and me upset just solidified my determination to finally defeat her. At the back of my mind, I'll admit I'm still a tad hesitant to defeat her, but not anymore. The next moments after the awarding are a blur of media frenzy. Surprisingly, many reporters are asking us a bunch of questions and congratulating us on our win. We're ushered to a hall where the press conference is held for the winners. Vlad stands on the sides with Yuri, both wearing huge grins for us. I'm seated next to Vanessa and Kirsten's partner is next to her. We answer a few questions and listen to the other teams also answer. The third-place winners are the brother and sister tandem from Japan, and they make the interview lighter with their banter. "This question's for Isaac." A female reporter stands up and leans over the microphone. "Regarding your chemistry with Vanessa, everyone knows you've only partnered with her for a few years. How did you two reach that level of chemistry in such a short period?" The room chuckles lightly. I take the microphone on the table. "Well, it's not really hard. We worked on what we can, I guess. And Vanessa's a very easygoing person, so there wasn't actually much to work on, I say. And there's another round of chuckles. But I guess we've also developed a relationship off ice that makes the chemistry you see on ice strong. I hear Vanessa's sharp breath intake. Follow-up question, the same reporter asks quickly. What do you mean with relationship off ice? Does that mean what we think you mean? Are you two going out? I swallow thickly and grab Vanessa's hand on top of the table, lacing our fingers together. Whatever reservations I have to what I'm about to say next melts away at the warmth from her hand. Yes, we are.
Chapter 6. Vanessa. The skin-tight costume I'm wearing now is a spin-off of my pink costume from our free skate. The bodice is tight and corseted, pushing my boobs up so I look like I have more than I actually have. The rhinestones that imitate flowers are still there, but the dress is now sleeveless, with only tiny straps holding up the bodice. The skirt flows past my toes, though shorter up front, so I can still move without tripping. I'm also not wearing any tights. If this was any competition, I'll immediately be disqualified for the costume alone. But that's not the case this time. We're back in the rink, shooting an advertisement for a sports magazine's website. It's been a week since we came back from Taiwan and won silver in the 4 continents. This is the first time we've met on the rink since then that's not for training. I still can't wrap my head around that day. My family has been more than ecstatic when they welcomed me back. Sean, my brother, even went as far as popped confetti on me when I walked through my mom's front door. They congratulated me profusely and then gave me a hell of teasing about Isaac, because of what Isaac announced during the press conference. We've gotten 2 new minor sponsors. It's not much, but my plan worked. And now we can go to the Olympics without worrying much about funds. It also took a great deal of stress off my shoulders, and I can now focus more on the Olympics. The makeup artist that the crew for the ad came with asked me to close my eyes as she spritzes some setting spray on my face. I've been sitting on the makeup chair for a good hour and a half after they put me into this costume. The ad requires us to do a sequence from our program, but in a more dramatic and seductive nature. The news of us dating swept through social media and news sites like wildfire. I was honestly caught off guard by Isaac's announcement. I thought he had forgotten about my idea, and we have put that behind us. He never acted like he was thinking about it. But the fake dating plan worked to our advantage and brought in the desired results. I don't remember much of what happened for the rest of the press conference, but when I watched it again, I noticed Kirsten's face has twisted into a frown throughout the remainder of the press con. I hope that wasn't permanent. Vlad is very happy with the wild turn of events. He's delightfully surprised that Isaac came around the idea. I was just surprised in general. It's certainly out of character for him to blurt it out like that when he was so opposed to the idea of it. Vlad is especially excited with the shooting today. He calls it an opportunity for us to gain more attention and support for the Olympics. "You look marvelous, Zajic," he says when I finally finish all that jazz and step into the ice. Isaac and Yuri are also already on the ice. They both look up when I skate over to them. Seeing Isaac in a more revealing counterpart of his original costume makes my mouth dry. His shirt is half open and the vest is unbuttoned, giving him the slightly disheveled look while still maintaining the concept of our dance. His light blonde hair isn't in its usual put-together look. It's ruffled up with just the right amount of mess, making him look like he's been running his fingers through it the entire day. I sigh because Isaac looks stunning. Yuri squeals when he sees me and fusses over me. But Isaac stays where he is and only gives me a half smile. His eyes don't stray anywhere from me, though, raking them from my head down to my skates. I quickly look away, hoping he didn't see my blush. When Isaac gives me a look like that, it makes me want to rush to him and kiss him senseless, and that's a no-no, even if we're dating. I'm first to shoot a few solo takes before we move to the pairs. It's easy enough because the movements already come like second nature to me. It's weird to do it without Isaac, though, but they want some shots where it's just me. Vlad, Yuri, and Isaac watch from the sidelines. More times than I'll admit, my eyes dart to Isaac, only to catch him intently looking at me. Is that how a smitten, head over heels in love boyfriend should look like? I've noticed a shift in Isaac for the past few days, although I never actually talked to him about it. I also don't know if he's trying to act like a lovesick boyfriend. We also haven't broached the topic of Kirsten. Frankly, I don't want to reminisce about the restroom fiasco, but at the same time, I know the look Isaac gave her when she passed by him. I also recognize the pain in his eyes when she ignored him. I keep wondering if he told everyone we're dating to get back at her. Then I realized, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whatever Isaac's reason is to agreeing with my wild plan, it doesn't matter, and he shouldn't be obligated to tell me. After all, we secured our place in the Olympics and won a medal in the 4cc. When it's time for Isaac's solo takes, I stay with Vlad, and we silently watch Isaac perform his part. He's amazing. Even without a partner, Isaac still conveys the dance very well. It makes me wonder why Kirsten would scoff at the idea of him and me being in the Olympics. Maybe it's just me she's not happy about going to the Olympics. By mid-afternoon, it's time for our parachutes. Isaac and I change a bit of the dance to fit to the narrative of the seduction. My breath leaves me when we start dancing. Isaac's intense eyes never leave mine the entire time, and he holds me closer than he usually does. His warmth engulfs my body, heating me up in ways that shouldn't be appropriate in public. His moves are executed perfectly. Glides and spins are immaculate, and his hold on my steady. It reminds me of the first time I saw Isaac skate. I've seen him on TV a few times, but the first time I've seen him skate in person was the same day we were paired up. As usual, I was almost late then, but Isaac was already on ice. There are a handful of people on the rink that day, but I remember my attention zeroing on him. He was incredible then, and he's still incredible now. He was also sad then. He had the determined look on his face, but his motions tell a different story. It delivers anguish and longing, and I only understand now that he must be putting all his emotions into the dance. I can only guess, but it made me feel sad for him. Sad, but at the same time in awe with the breathtaking dance. "Are you okay?" I ask him when we finish the dance. His face so close to mine I can see the flecks in his irises. He grins, breathes fanning on my cheeks. Never better.
Chapter 7. Isaac. I ball my fist tightly to keep myself from pulling Vanessa any closer to me. I know that we're supposed to be dating and anyone won't question it if I get touchy with her, but Vanessa doesn't know that. We both know that we're only pretending. But goddamn, she makes it so hard. When she came out wearing that tight dress, I almost fell to my knees. It shows off her figure in ways I haven't and shouldn't notice. The cut of her dress shows off a vast expanse of her chest and her legs. I know I shouldn't be as affected. I mean, I've put my hands on her for the better part of the 4 years we've skated together. But seeing her so pretty and innocent in that pale pink dress, my mind travels to dangerous and definitely non-innocent territories. During her solo shots, I had to constantly check myself so that my jaw isn't hanging open or if I'm drooling. Especially with Vlad and Yuri around, they're sure to give me hell about it. Vanessa moves like she owns the ice. Her movements are fluid, and I want to drown in them. I look away whenever she catches my eyes. It's annoying me that I'm starting to be aware of her effect on me. I don't know why, but the thought of it makes me uncomfortable. I guess, though I agreed to her idea, I still have my reservations with Vanessa and this whole pretend dating thing. Before we shot our dance, I keep thinking I shouldn't look into her eyes too much. I'm scared she'll find the whole thing uncomfortable, but that all went out of the window as soon as we started the dance. My eyes never stray from hers throughout the program. Even during competitions, I don't remember never losing eye contact with her, But this time I just can't look away. Is it the dress? The makeup? No, that can't be it. I've seen Vanessa put together multiple times, but never had it affected me like this. What is wrong with me? When we finished the dance, she asked me if I was okay. The question caught me off guard, but without thinking, I gave her my honest answer. I would have wanted to keep dancing with her, maybe do a few more takes. But the director told us we were perfect already from the first take and wrapped up the shoot. It's been a week since we came back from the 4 continents, and I announced our relationship to the public. Everyone kept congratulating me as soon as we came back to start training in the rink again. But there's an addition to winning the medal. It's winning Vanessa. I never thought I could blush simultaneously in the span of 2 minutes. But because of my daring move and Vanessa's absurd idea, we've garnered 2 new sponsorships. When we heard about it from Vlad, I couldn't help feeling like some thorn was pulled out clean from my side. Vanessa was as happy as I was. But the bigger part of me was just relieved that I wouldn't have to battle internally if I should stoop low and ask Samuel for help. Thank God it didn't come down to that. Why don't you get some food first before we sit down for the interview? The publicist that came with the crew told us after we wrapped up the shoot. We nod and sit by the bleachers, nibbling on tiny sandwiches. Vlad and Yuri are being their usual selves and talking really loud. Soon after, they got bored and decided to go outside for a bit, leaving Vanessa and me. After a bit, another woman comes forward introducing herself as the one to interview us. Almost immediately, I snatch up Vanessa's hand and lace our fingers together. She gives me a startled look, but I look pointedly at the reporter lady. She understands my meaning and shifts closer to me, too. I try to hide the smile forming on my lips. I'll never get used to the shock of how comforting Vanessa's warmth is. The reporter Mandy asks us some questions about our training and our plans for the future. Well, we have the Olympics coming up, I tell her, my thumb brushing idly against Vanessa's wrist. There's been some delay with announcing the American team, but hopefully we secure that place to compete. The new program was a success. Where did you get the idea of it? Vanessa clears her throat. Oh, that was all Vlad, our coach. He's also our choreographer, so he's actually the creative mind behind it. Mandy nods, scribbling something down her notebook. But the chemistry was off the records, wasn't it? Are you more comfortable with each other now? We might not be skating together for long, but we both work to make our dance as relatable as possible. It's telling a story after all. We're just glad to have placed in the 4cc. Mandy asks some minor questions before wrapping up. She thanks us and stands up. You know, she says, turning back at us in a conspiratorial whisper, when I first heard you were dating, I didn't believe it. I thought it must be another of those promos. But seeing it with my 2 eyes, she sighs, shaking her head. I was so wrong. We watch Mandy join her crew and begin talking animatedly with her hands. I glance at Vanessa. Well, that went well. We're practically actors on ice after all. She nods, grinning at me. I have the sudden urge to lean down and kiss her. I wonder how her mouth would taste. We have a few moments on ice where we have to face each other so closely, but we have never kissed. Would she turn me away if I tried? Isaac, she tilts her head to the side in question. Are you okay? Fine, I croak. Fine, I'm fine. Come on, let's go find Vlad and go home. Unconsciously, I hold out my hand for her. Too late when I realize that no one is paying any attention to us for us to continue acting like we're a couple. But Vanessa has already taken my hand. I smile again. I'm sure she also wasn't thinking when she took it. We walk down the bleachers together. We find Vlad by the lockers. Vanessa tells us that she'll just pick up her bag. I watch her walk to the ladies' locker room, eyes on her butt. She's got a great behind. How did I not notice that before? Suddenly my phone buzzes. I didn't realize it's in my pocket. I look at the screen and all the happy thoughts I had 2 seconds ago melts away when I read the message. It's Samuel. Come to dinner, the text reads. Bring Vanessa. How did the punk get my number?
I hope you're enjoying this audiobook by Vic Savon. If you want to keep hearing more audiobooks, then please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It may seem insignificant, but the more people that subscribe, the easier it is to produce more audiobooks in the future. So please help us out and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening. And now back to your book.
Chapter 8. Vanessa. I'm so full of nervous energy that I don't know what to do with myself. One reason why I made this deal with Isaac in the first place is that I know I can handle being seen and being all mushy-mush with him. However, this is a new twist because I didn't think I'll be meeting Isaac's family when I suggested my plan. Although I can't deny being a little curious about what his family will be like. There's this part of me that always wondered why Isaac doesn't want his brother's help. Either it's because Isaac's being a stubborn jerk, or something else. What better way to know than this? Since Isaac already informed me that this will be a formal party, I want to pat myself on the back for buying the emerald dress from my share of the prize money. It's not that I always go to formal parties and stuff, but I just want to reward myself now and then. Besides, who knows when I'll need a formal dress for, say, like, maybe an event where Isaac and I will be taking home the gold or a meeting with your partner's family. Not wanting us to be late, I quickly put on my dress. It has a fitted bodice and an A-line skirt, which makes it perfect for my athletic build, accentuating the shape of my waist. The dress only goes down just above my knees, showing off my great legs. Well, with all the times I've been using them on the ice, I sure as hell hope that they'll turn out great. I hear the knock on the door, and I panic a bit because I haven't worn my shoes yet. But I also can't just leave Isaac there waiting. Rushing barefoot towards the door, I quickly open it and suck in a breath upon seeing him. God, but he looks so good. Though I did notice that he's not trying too hard to look the part for a formal party with his polo shirt, black pants, and dress shoes. But still, how can the man still look good in that simple outfit is way beyond me. I take it you're not ready yet? He suddenly says, startling me out of my ogling. Oh, I'm already done, actually. I'll just wear my shoes. You can just stand there or sit on the sofa or whatever. I won't take long, I swear. I didn't look at him while talking because I'm already busy placing my feet up on the sofa and bending down to put on my shoes with my 3-inch heels and tying the clasps close. Being on my feet all day with nothing but a thin blade holding me up makes me want to throw a party in celebration for wearing something that covers more surface area of the floor. Once done, I straighten up and grab my purse before facing Isaac. He looks frozen in place with his eyes zeroing in on my legs. I feel my cheeks warm with pleasure and amusement as I wave a hand in front of his face. Like what you see? I'm all set. Let's go. He blinks and stares at me with wide eyes. Yes, of course, yes, let's. Also, he clears his throat. You look beautiful, by the way. I give him a wide grin at the sincere compliment. Not looking bad yourself. The light atmosphere we share suddenly fades and morphs into tension as we get into his car, and we drive in silence towards our destination, Yarrow penthouse. I can't believe that one can live in a place this luxurious. Golden candelabras on the hand-carved mahogany tables and cabinets, crystal vases, and golden crystal chandeliers on the ceiling. Everything and everyone looks so cold. I can hardly imagine Isaac living in a place like this. He's too warm and too human to be able to stand something so lifeless. Vanessa, look alive. My family is on their way, Isaac whispers in my ear, halting my perusal of the place. Pasting a smile on my face, I turn towards the people now standing before us. One, I believe, is Isaac's brother, Samuel, given that he shares the same hair and eye color. There are 2 women standing on either side of him. The younger one must be his wife. I think Camille is her name, if I remember my partner telling me correctly. The other older woman is most probably Samuel's mother, or to be specific, Isaac's stepmother, Sylvia. Isaac introduces us, and I think his family is polite enough. However, they're also like the place they're living in. Cold. There's no warm smiles and hugs like my family and I always share. I don't even think hugs are allowed here, and I have a sinking feeling that public affection, even familial ones, are being frowned upon here. No wonder Isaac doesn't want to be with them so much. So, Isaac, I heard you still failed in winning the gold from the last competition, Samuel says casually, yet one can hear the disappointment in his voice. I feel Isaac stiffen beside me at the barb, and my head immediately fills up with rage and disgust at this family. If this is how they always act towards him, then I think it's good riddance he's not spending time with them. I beg your pardon, I say coolly. I feel the two women and Isaac stare on me, but I didn't mind them. I'm too busy looking at Samuel straight in the eye. But I want to say that not winning the gold means that Isaac isn't doing his best on the ice. As his partner for the past 4 years, I witness how he works hard every single day to be where he is right now. I may not know him that long, but I can attest that Isaac doesn't take our competitions lightly, and that I'm proud to be his partner and girlfriend. Everyone just stands there and looks at me with wide eyes and open mouths, and it's then I realize that I might have put my foot in my mouth and hope that I don't get Isaac in trouble for my brashness. However, I don't regret standing up for him, and if he gets in trouble, I'll make sure that he won't be in trouble alone.
Chapter 9. Isaac. All of us, Samuel, Camila, and Sylvia, are standing there and gaping at Vanessa after her intense and heartfelt declaration. She probably realizes that she left us all speechless, because her face turns a little darker in embarrassment before whispering, please excuse me, I'll just, yeah. She turns and leaves, quickly blending into the crowd. It takes a second for me to finally recover and follow after her, not looking back at my family and, most importantly, not caring what they think of her. Because if they think poorly of her, so help me, they'll answer to me. As I weave in and out of the crowd, my mind keeps on replaying the moment where she stands by my side and defends me from my jerk of a brother. I mean, not that I can't handle it myself. When it comes to Samuel, one can say that I'm already used to his cool and casual remarks filled with venom. It'll always be about me not getting the gold with every competition that I participated in. However, hearing someone speak up for me is so refreshing that I know I won't mind having Vanessa tell my family off again the next time they comment about my achievements, or, for them, lack thereof. It's been a very long time since someone did that for me, that I forgot how good it feels to know that someone's got your back. I can't help but recall that Kirsten never supported me like what Vanessa did before whenever Samuel says something like that to me. In fact, after Samuel, she'd also tell me how disappointed she is in me for not getting the gold, and that I should do better. Me, the one who always beat her on the ice to practice every morning. Me, the one who's the first to arrive at the practice rink and the last to leave. Shaking my head to get rid of the thoughts of my ex, I focus on finding the woman who matters more right now. An arm suddenly grabs me and pulls me to the side. Thinking it's Vanessa, I turn and stop in my tracks only to see it's my stepmother, Sylvia. I'm never close to my family, but I don't hate them either. Well, except for Samuel, maybe. Isaac, she begins, then hesitates before taking in a deep breath. Do you have a moment? I nod. Sure, what is it? She looks away for a bit before staring me in the eye. I know that we didn't exactly make a loving family, and I know that I didn't make any move to fix that. However, seeing Vanessa like that about you makes me think about all the things I did and didn't do to you. I shift in place because this is awkward. My relationship with them isn't warm and cuddly, and I'm spending almost all my life to prove to them that I'm not just a useless piece of extra baggage. Samuel and I don't see eye to eye together. Sylvia doesn't really talk to me, but she's polite, and so am I. And my interaction with Camila is little to non-existent. I'm not sure what to feel or do if Sylvia wants to start patching things up with me, and we begin to turn into a family. But I guess that's a good thing. But we'll do that when things aren't as pressing. What I want to say is that even if our family circumstances unconventional, you have to believe and understand that Samuel is hard on you because he cares. You're still his brother and he just wants you to be better. Well, I can't deny there's some truth in that still. I can't imagine Samuel caring for me. If he does, he sure has a funny way of showing it. Sylvia giggles at the look on my face. It's the first time I hear her laugh like that with me, and when she does, she looks approachable and kind even. Maybe they're not the only ones lacking in making this family work. I admit that I also spend time as far away from them as possible. So maybe patching things up with each other may not be a bad idea, as long as everyone's on board with it. Sylvia smiles slyly. I know what you're thinking, and I can agree. Samuel isn't really a showy kind of person, and when he talks it's hard to tell whether he's insulting you or not. We both chuckle at that, and when we stop, we look at each other with a sincere smile this time, both seeing each other in a new light. Isaac! She reaches over and pats my arm. I'm happy that you find someone like Vanessa. She's a keeper, that one. I like her guts and how passionate she is when it comes to you, unlike your previous girlfriend. I'm not your mother, and we're not that close for me to tell you. But now that I want to be better as well, so I want to say that I never really liked your ex. I chuckle, still amazed and in awe at how one little declaration from Vanessa, Sylvia and I are now finally talking normally. Yeah, I'm glad I found Vanessa too. With one last pat, Sylvia gives me a smile before she leaves me to my search. I catch sight of Vanessa's dark hair not far from me. Vanessa! I call out, quickly making my way towards her. I feel my phone vibrating on the pocket of my pants. She turns and smiles when she sees me. I smile back, fishing my phone from my pocket as I ask, You okay? She shakes her head and sighs. I guess so. I hope I didn't get you in trouble for saying those things. I want to say that I'm not sorry about doing that, though. I grin. Nah, you did great. Thanks for that, by the way. I really appreciate you having my back there. My phone vibrates again, and we both stare at it. Raising one finger up, I quickly open my messages to see that it's from Vlad. I lower it so Vanessa and I can see it, and we both gasp in unison seeing Vlad's notification, saying that our documents and visas have been processed and approved, which means we're really set to going to the Winter Olympics. Not caring about the party or anyone around us, we let out a whoop and cheer. And before I can get a hold of myself and my excitement, I pull Vanessa to me and kiss her. And I don't know which is more glorious, the news or her taste.
Chapter 10. Vanessa. It's been a week since the formal party where I met Isaac's family. It's also been a week since our first kiss together. I don't know about him, but after that day, there's never a moment in my life that I don't recall that kiss in my head. Whether I'm just starting my day, when I'm eating breakfast during practice, I always revisit that particular memory. However, when I'm already in bed and retiring for the day, it's the only time that the memory of the kiss morphs into something more. Unfortunately, I guess that's the only time I get to do more for Isaac. I feel my cheek heat up at those naughty thoughts and decide to shake it off. That aside, I also noticed that ever since the party, my declaration, and our first kiss together, Isaac and I became more motivated in our practice. We're more in sync. We're practicing more intensely, and I can feel like we're giving more than our 100% with every session. Even Vlad noticed because, despite being more than just our coach and more of a friend, he doesn't give us compliments that easily whenever he's in coach mode. However, during a week of practice, he's done nothing but commend on how impressive we've been. It might be because of how I stand up to him in front of his family, or how he and his family become a little closer than before, especially with his stepmother, because I've seen him talking to her on the phone once or twice during our breaks, And also maybe a little improvement with his relationship with Samuel, too. I think Samuel's the one he's texting, because I remember Isaac telling me that Sylvia prefers to call since she can't keep up with so much typing. Or, dare I think about it, could it be because of our kiss? Because for sure, I can say that the kiss we shared does things to me that I never thought possible. Looking back, it makes me feel beautiful. I get more alert and active, and as funny as it may sound, I think just the memory of it is like a drug to me. A steroid that improves my performance on the ice that no medical team can trace. Ready, everyone? We'll be live in 5 seconds. A shout from the front row catches my attention and pushes me out of my reverie. I got a little bit disoriented with the unfamiliar surroundings for a second before it all comes back to me. Isaac and I are sitting side by side on the love seat, facing Kirsten and Nathan on the other side of the set, only separated by a lone sofa where the host of Good Morning America is sitting. The lights are all shining down at us, but I know that there are audiences on the set, other than the staff that are milling around in the background. I don't think it's wise for me to daydream about our kiss right here, so it's best if I keep my wits about me. Despite performing on ice in front of millions of people and having my performance shown on TV from all over the world, sitting for a talk show shouldn't make me this nervous. Being the Olympic figure skaters representing the U.S., along with Kirsten and Nathan, we're currently being interviewed by the morning talk show before we head out to South Korea a week from now. Vlad says it will give us the exposure we need for potential sponsors and to have the country wish us luck. To me, I think it's just so the busybodies at home can sniff at any gossip and drama that's hovering over us. So Kirsten and Isaac, the host asks, "Tell us, how are you guys feeling now that you've changed partners?" And there we have it. I know I'm right that this show is more about looking for gossip than wishing us good luck. "Oh, doing good, Karen. Thank you for asking." Kirsten answers with a full-on smile that's so sweet, it makes me want to puke. She pats Nathan's arm as she replies, "Being with a new partner along with the new routines is really refreshing for both of us. You know I always want to aim for the gold, and maybe that Isaac, and just need something new in our lives. I think that we did the right thing because here we are, both qualifying as representatives for the Winter Olympics in Korea." She sounds professional and casual. However, I can't help but feel there's something in her words that's like a torpedo aiming for Isaac. I think she sounds like she's the only one aiming for the gold and not Isaac. I don't know what's the appropriate emotion to show right now, because deep down inside of me, I really want to throttle the little punk right now. The host smiles, nodding. "And it's our pride and joy to have you two pairs among the USA team for the Winter Olympics. How about you, Isaac?" she asks, turning to our side of the set. "Any thoughts regarding the change in partners?" I can't help but shift a little in my seat, suddenly nervous and apprehensive about Isaac's reply. I don't know what he'll say, and I also don't know what to expect or what I'm expecting he'll say. So the only thing I can do is to become more observant of him as he finally answers after a pause. "I'm happy with Vanessa," he says with an enthusiastic smile. "And I agree with her. It's pretty clear that Kirsten made the right choice since she already won 3 golds with Nathan. I think they make a pretty good team." I tilt my head a notch to get a feel of his tone. He sounds sincere enough, though, and I don't think he sounds bitter or anything. However, I'm not 100% sure about that observation of mine. As the talk finally moves on from Isaac and Kirsten, discussing our routines and if we can tell our secret training, in the back of my mind, I'm still not over Isaac's answer, because I don't know if he's being honest about his answer, or he's just saying that because we're together. What I would give to know.
Chapter 11. Isaac. I'm out of words, tongue-tied by the simple question that the host asks. Everyone waits for my answer, filling the room with silence as my thoughts run a mile a second. But only one thing matters. How long has it been since I thought of Kirsten and that pain of betrayal lingering in me? I can feel Vanessa stare at me. I look at her, stunning as always, and the sudden thought comes to my mind. I guess it's all because of her. Ever since Vanessa became my partner, slowly but surely, she always catches my attention, averting it from Kirsten. How she takes my breath away and makes me forget where I stand. I admit, Kirsten is a good ice dancer, and that's what I like about her. But there's something about Vanessa that captures me, and I'm still figuring it out. I look at Vanessa and our eyes meet, feeling like she's the only person I see here. I take a deep breath, ready to answer as my lips curve into a smile. I'm happy with Vanessa. I look at the host with enthusiasm, and I agree with her. It's pretty clear that Kirsten made the right choice since she already won 3 golds with Nathan. I think they make a pretty good team, I answer, making everyone squeal. But I glance at Vanessa again and smile at her, but she seems to be deep in thought. But I truly am happy with Vanessa. Even a part of me is surprised by my own realization. The kind of happiness that I thought only Kirsten can only give to me is incomparable to how much pain she has caused me. But with Vanessa, everything is perfect. Almost perfect. The interview lasts almost an hour, and Vanessa and I manage to answer the questions with ease that the host asks. It's quite amazing how we can do that since we're only pretending, but we're acting like we're real in front of the camera and everyone. Are you okay? I ask Vanessa beside me, interrupting her from staring outside the window of the back seat of the car that will take us to the hotel. She seems to be deep in thought ever since the interview started. She looks at me with her eyes piercing right through me. Me? Yeah, I'm okay. It's just what? I ask, putting my hand over hers. She looks at it, and I don't bother to yank my hand away. I don't know why, but I love the warmth of her hand and how it fits with mine. I'm just tired, Isaac. She weakly smiles at me and I nod. I guess the interview was exhausting to her. We did wake up earlier than usual for the interview. Want to rest on my shoulder? I offer, tapping my shoulder, and she politely declines. Thanks, but I'm okay with leaning on the glass window. Okay then, I'll just wake you up when we arrive. She nods, leaning on the glass window, and closes her eyes. Her face is illuminated by the daylight, and it makes her look even more beautiful. I carefully tuck the strand of her dark hair behind her ear as I watch her face again. Watching her sleep peacefully makes me smile, and the swarming of emotions lingers in me again. It's so warm, but I'm still bothered by her strange behavior, though. I sigh and stare outside when my phone beeps in my pocket. I take it, checking the notification when Samuel's name pops up on the screen. I wonder what he wants. I take a deep breath before I open his message. Let's meet. We need to talk. I read the message, making me frown. What does he want to talk about? Send me the address then, I reply, and give the driver's address when Samuel replies. We're going to meet in a cafe somewhere in Manhattan. I wonder what he wants to talk about. I wake Vanessa when we arrive at the address Samuel provided. Besides the cafe, there are also boutiques and small shops that line the street. Want to join me? I ask Vanessa, ready to go inside the cafe. Samuel is already sitting on the corner, sipping his espresso and waiting for us to get in. It's okay, Isaac. You can go. I'll just browse at the neighboring stores here. Vanessa waves at me, turning around and ready to leave when I grab her hand. Are you sure? I ask, making her look at me. She smiles and nods. Of course. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. As much as I don't want to leave her, I have no choice but to nod. She's my partner, not just in ice skating, but also my fake girlfriend. Samuel might find strange if she's not around. I'll call you when we're done. She nods and I let her go, watching her leave and make sure she's fine. I enter the cafe with the familiar aroma of coffee beans welcoming me. The interior design of the cafe looks so cozy with those wooden tables and greenly indoor plants. I approach him and notice an iced coffee is already waiting for me. It reminds me of Vanessa. She likes this, and I guess I'll buy her one later on. "Where's your girlfriend?" he asks as I take a seat across him. "She's going to nearby stores," I say, sipping the iced coffee. It's actually good. I understand why she loves this. "What is it that you want to talk about? Is there something wrong?" "Nothing's wrong, brother. But I won't be long, and I think it's time for you to have this," he says, lifting the soft brown leather briefcase beside him. I watch him open it with my furrowed eyebrows, but he hands me a black credit card and an envelope filled with documents. I look at him with my eyes fluttering. "This is..." "Yes, your shares and inheritance. Do what you want with them. It's about time." I take a look at the documents which have the transfers of my inheritance in my bank account. The black credit card already has my name on it, and I look up to him. "Why are you giving me these?" He takes a sip on his espresso before he answers me. "It's been gathering dust in my office, so might as well hand it over to you. I seriously don't know why you haven't taken it off my hands all these years." I look at the documents again, and while a small part of me is grateful that it was Samuel who reached out and gave it to me first, I'm too upset at my sudden realization. Now that I have more than enough money for the upcoming Olympics and other competitions, having full access to my inheritance means Vanessa and I don't need to pretend anymore. My chest tightens at the thought, a non-existent lump stuck on my throat. "I wish you the best of luck for your Winter Olympics and getting that gold, brother," Samuel says as his farewell. He taps my shoulder as he walks past me, leaving me alone at the table. I don't even respond to him because I'm too wrapped up with my thoughts, because I honestly don't want to end this fake relationship between Vanessa and me. I think I really do like her.
Chapter 12. Vanessa. I can't believe it. I'm finally here in Korea. I squeal after taking a break in the nearby bleachers, still feeling like I'm dreaming after yesterday's amazing opening ceremony here in Pyeongchang. Last night was probably the best time of my life. I felt excitement until I arrived here. I got to meet the other competitors all around the world yesterday and was encouraged by the committees that hyped me up. But I love South Korea so much. You can say that I'm influenced by their amazing dramas and upbeat songs. Their tradition and culture is amazing as well. From their cuisine down to their fashion, it's so colorful and unique, especially their traditional clothing called hanbok. I've been in love with this place ever since, and now I'm here in the ice rink dedicated to rehearsals. The stadium is huge. It fits more than 1,000 people. The ice rink is so wide that we can jump and dance to our heart's content without worrying for the corners. I admit it gives me anxiety how a lot of people will come to watch us, and the participants looking so very capable as well. This is not just a competition, but an Olympics. I can't believe I'm actually representing my country with Isaac by my side. Still not done squealing? Isaac chuckles beside me. I turn to him with a grin and still on cloud 9. I don't think I can stop squealing. He chuckles even more as he offers his hand. Why don't we dance while you squeal? I giggle and take his hand as he takes us to the center of the rink. I'll be looking silly if I do that. We both laugh as I jump to him as he spins us around. We continue our practice with Vlad, playing our soundtrack, and watch us with satisfaction on his face. Isaac and I dance to the song as we let our bodies surrender to the melody. But I can't stop staring at his eyes, focusing on me, making me lose track of time. They're so warm and gentle, just like how he touches me. It was never like this before. How he is so comfortable around me and being thoughtful. I don't know why, but his gestures are starting to affect me, even his presence. Vlad then claps and compliments our dance as he rewards us by finishing the rehearsals early. We both then saunter towards our locker room, changing my outfit with the light blue pants and white shirt underneath my gray coat. I wrap my knitted gray scarf that Mom personally gave me before I exit the locker room. "Hey," Isaac greets with his gentle smile, almost taking my breath away with his outfit. He's wearing a red leather jacket with that black turtleneck long-sleeved shirt with his pair of dark blue jeans. That flannel dark scarf and black loafers complements them. Hey, how long were you waiting?" I ask. He shrugs. "Just now? Let's go." I nod, and we walk side by side to the hallway. His steps are synchronizing my pace with an awkward silence filling us. "Are you hungry?" Isaac and I break the silence with the same question. Our eyes meet, stopping us in our tracks, but we break a laugh, echoing in the hallway. "I guess we are then," I titter. Our laughter subsides as he snaps his finger, getting my attention. "Anyway, want to go out and explore the Olympics market with me?" I almost want to jump at his offer, but I look at him, squinting my eyes playfully with crossed arms. "Are you taking me on a date, Mr. Yarrow?" He taps on his chin with a lopsided smile until he shrugs. "You could say that?" I lightheartedly roll my eyes at him. "You could have said so. Let's go." I grab his hand in excitement and drag us out of the stadium after we bid our farewell to Vlad. We proceed to the Olympics market, where many food stalls offer different delicious-looking meals. I want to try them all, making my tummy growl, but Isaac takes me in a Korean barbecue restaurant when he sees me drooling over it. It's so hot. I fan myself and begin to sweat when I dip my grilled pork in a chili sauce, but Isaac immediately gives me a glass of cold water. I take it, unable to thank him as I gulp the water. "I told you not to make that sauce." That's why I hate spicy foods. "I can't bear my tongue being burned," he complains, making me pout. "But it's the South Koreans' unique culture, and it's actually delicious." I take a portion of grilled beef with my chopsticks and dip in the chili sauce. "Here, you should try." "No," he sternly retorts, but I insist, making him eat half of the portion. We finish our meal with a sweat and our tongues getting burned. We continue exploring the place filled with his corny jokes and our laughter as we try different foods and beverages. The people even look at us with amazement. I didn't know he's such a clown until now, and I don't even realize how long we've been holding hands. He's holding it tightly, not wanting to let go. But I'm not bothered since the market is quite crowded. Isaac decides to stargaze in a park with ice cream on the waffle cone in our hands. Our hands are still clasped, and my heart wants to burst from staring at it. But he lets go of my hand just to smudge a cream on my cheek and runs away. "Why you?" We both run around in the park, looking like children as I try to get him in between this bench. He runs away when I almost grab him, making him drop his ice cream. But then he stops on the railings with tourist telescopes mounted on top of it. He seems to be fascinated by something, so I stand beside him, and the city lights are so beautiful. "Wow," I mutter as a smile plasters on my lips. "It's so beautiful." "Isn't it?" We both stare at the breathtaking view. "Thank you for bringing me here, Isaac," I say, still watching the view. I mean it. My heart wants to burst of how happy I am right now. And if it wasn't because of him, I won't be able to come here. But I feel his thumb brushing my cheek. I should be the one to say that. I look at him with his thumb sucking the ice cream he wiped from my cheek. My face heats up at the sight, but my breath hitches at the proximity when he cups my cheeks with his thumb brushing my lower lip. "Thank you for bringing me here, Vanessa." And I melt as I feel the warmth of his lips against mine. I kiss him back, tasting more of him. I don't, which is sweeter anymore, the ice cream or his luscious lips.
Chapter 13. Isaac. "Isaac," Vanessa breathes in between our kisses as I pin her in the elevator. I pepper butterfly kisses on her neck, inhaling her sweet scent that's intoxicating me. My lips find its way to hers again as our bodies buckle on each other. It feels like I'm dreaming when Vanessa responds to my kisses, flipping my heart with these fireworks blasting in me. I can taste the ice cream in her mouth as our tongues swirl on each other. I pull her waist closer to me with her arms around my neck. It feels so magical with our lips working together, making our bodies hotter despite the low temperature. I'm already feeling hazy by her kisses until the elevator dings, opening the door. I lift Vanessa's legs and hook them around my waist as we go out of the elevator. We continue to ravish our lips while I walk us to the hotel suite. We have our own quarters at the Olympic Village, but I want to enjoy this night with Vanessa in a suite where we can do it wherever we want and whenever we want without anyone interrupting us. And with that, we already turned our phones off. I hate to burst your bubble when things are just getting started, but this platform won't allow us to air the steamy content coming up in this chapter. If you want us to keep bringing you free audiobooks, we have to abide by their rules. Luckily for you, the unabridged version of every Vic Vaughn audiobook is available at VicSavonRomance.com. And with promo code VIXA40, you can get 40% off any digital product. Let's get back to the story. The morning comes and I wake with Vanessa still on my chest, sleeping soundly. I can't help but smile remembering about yesterday as I play with her hair. Moments later, she wakes up. "Morning." I kiss her head. "Morning," she greets and nuzzles under my chin. We're filled with comfortable silence as I still play with her hair and her hugging my waist. I don't feel any regret about everything that's happened to us. It honestly just feels so right with her. "Isaac?" Vanessa breaks the silence as she sits up, making me want to pull her back to me. "About last night. What's going to happen to us now?" I'm lost in thoughts of her question. She's right. What happens next to us? But I take a deep breath and sit beside her, cupping her cheeks and stare at her beautiful eyes. "Let's settle this soon," I say, taking her hand and squeezing it tight. "But for now, let's focus on getting the gold medal, shall we?" Vanessa gives me such a beautiful smile before replying, "You're right. Let's win the gold medal." We then decide to have another round in the shower before going back to our quarters to change our clothes. An hour later, we leave the hotel and head back to the stadium.
Chapter 14. Vanessa. Representing the United States of America, Vanessa Heaton and Isaac Yarrow. The loud cheers almost deafen me as Isaac and I enter the ice rink, waving at the crowd. The day has finally come to perform in front of everyone. I'm a bit nervous, watching those people filling the bleachers with different banners and flags. My palms are a bit sweaty as I grip on the hem of the skirt of my glittering red dress costume, but Isaac holds my hand tightly, snapping me away from my anxiety. I gaze at our clasped hands, and I almost forget about everything. I look at him, and he smiles at me with those tender eyes that calms me. Isaac, on the other hand, wears a faded blue deep V-neck shirt with glitter accents and black tight trousers. He's letting me feel that I'm not alone, and I'm not the only one in this nervous state. "Are you ready?" he asks. How could I forget? I have Isaac by my side. We'll definitely take the medal in our home. I take a deep breath, letting go of all my worries, and nod at him with a smile. "I'm ready." The cheers of the people intensify when Isaac takes us to the center of the rink. We then do our starting pose as we wait for the track to start. I'm confident enough that I can do this. We can do this. I trust him as much as I should trust myself. We've been preparing for this, and I won't waste this opportunity. The mellow music starts and we glide backwards with our hands clasping. Before I know it, he already surrenders himself to the song as I bend my body with my arm extended, almost meeting the ground. Isaac then holds my waist tight as we glide in the rink in sync. I jump like a ballerina with him behind me, guiding me towards him as we both spin in the same manner and dance at the same time. I turn to him as he glides backwards, and I can see the burning passion in his eyes as he looks at me. He really loves what he's doing just as much as I enjoy dancing in the rink. He cups my cheek with tenderness, and I can't help but smile. I jump to him, hooking my legs on his waist as I cup his cheeks with him, spinning us around without even disconnecting our gaze. All eyes are on us as Isaac lifts me effortlessly and spins me around him and travels around the corners. I spread myself like a swan, ready to fly as Isaac copies me, jumping and combining it with triple loops as we land cleanly with a flip that makes people go wild. We're so in sync today, I almost cry, but I stop myself and focus more on our performance. We both glide on the ice, executing each technical move flawlessly with my hand on his shoulder and the other on his hand as we travel around the rink. It's as if he's the only one I see as I follow his steps. I feel so light, and being with Isaac as his not-that-long-time partner just feels so right. It's like we're really meant to be partners on the ice. I raise my leg from the back as Isaac comes behind me to lift me up and let me show the audience in a standing ovation. I get a glimpse of Vlad on the corner with a satisfied look, and I almost want to cry for making him proud of us. "You did it so beautiful, Vanessa," Isaac whispers behind me with his hands on my waist and his body pressed on mine. We're on the ice, yet his deep voice and the breath brushing my ear warms me up. "Same goes for you." I wrap my arms around his neck, our foreheads touch as we spin together. The people once again shower us with praise as Isaac hugs me from behind with his face buried on the crook of my neck. I gently push myself away, but he pulls me back, letting me face him with his hand cupping my cheek and our lips ghosting on each other. We execute twizzles perfectly, then we both reach for the other at the same time. Isaac is such a vision on the ice as his body flexes and sways in the ice rink. The way his light blonde hair bounces and his eyes glistens in adoration almost makes him look like a prince in his element. I know this is part of the choreography, but it never fails to flutter my heart in some ways. He's so comfortable with me, entrusting me to win this Olympics with him. Now that I know that Isaac really likes me and is proud of me as his partner, it does warm my heart with so much joy, giving me the confidence that we can get the medal that we work hard for. Our short program is nearly over, with only a few more seconds left for us to give our all. Isaac then lifts my leg as I step onto his hand for me to position myself on top of him. With my foot on his lap, he supports me holding my other leg as I spread my arms in the air with a smile. He then puts me down, then we jump in unison, executing it perfectly. I fight the urge to squeal as Isaac grins at me as we end with a pose just as the music ceases. The audience cheer is almost deafening, but all I can focus on is the sound of our deep breathing. No matter what the result is, I'm proud of our performance, though a part of me knows that we just performed our best today. As we glide back to the side, Vlad welcomes us with a proud smile. The three of us head to the kiss and cry as we wait for our scores to be announced. When our scores are released, I almost cannot believe it. Isaac and I are in first place.
Chapter 15. Isaac. I'm still reeling at the fact that Vanessa and I are currently in first place after our short program. I can't believe it, but I don't think I did that on my own, though. This is a competition where it takes two to tango. I know I won't be able to get here if not for the most amazing person and the most amazing ice dancing partner one can ever have. I don't know what happened there on the ice, but there's this palpable feeling in the air, like I know, deep down in my bones and in my gut, that Vanessa trusts me with her all during our performance, and I can't help but return it in kind. And yes, we may not be partners for a long time compared to the other competitors, but that doesn't have to be the basis of everything. I trust Vanessa with my all as well. Not only that, but also because I finally let go of my bitterness with Kirsten, my drive to prove myself to my family, and to keep up the pretense because of our lack of sponsors. I realize that all the bitterness I felt with Kirsten is because she reminds me of what I feel when I'm with my family, All that doubt, all that blame, the disappointment. However, now that I'm finally seeing things clearly without the haze of grudge, I can see that my family cares in their weird way. And Kirsten? Well, she's just a plain tramp who doesn't know the word support and teamwork. I hate to admit, but her idea of parting ways is the greatest idea her spoiled little mind has ever concocted. I might also have to thank her one day because, if not for her, I wouldn't have Vanessa as my partner, and I wouldn't be so damn happy to be in first place with her right now. "Hey, handsome." A familiar voice calls out to me as soon as I leave the men's locker room, startling me out of my thoughts. I look up to see Kirsten leaning against the walls near the locker room as if waiting for me. Speak of the devil. I bite back a groan and decide to keep on walking away, but have to stop in my tracks when Kirsten blocks my path. I sigh. I don't want to deal with any of her womanly wiles right now, so I think it's best if I get this done and over with. "What do you want, Kirsten?" "Do you have a minute to talk?" she says in a soft voice that she always uses to butter me up. I used to fall for that tone like the idiot I am, but not anymore. I barely stop myself from rolling my eyes because I really don't have time for this, but I also don't want to be rude. "We're talking. Now talk. I have to get back to my partner soon." At the mention of my partner, Kirsten's eyes flash with irritation and rage. She points an accusatory finger at me. "You should have done something, you know. The fallout between us? We could have made it work. I thought you loved me, Isaac. But I guess not, because you haven't fought for me when you should have. You would have searched for me and found me and taken me back." My eyes widen with every word that comes out of her mouth. I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. After all those times she's saying these to me now. Not that I care whether she says this to me or years before, because it will be useless. Looking back at how broken and hurt I am, I'm pretty sure Kirsten will never have a place in my life again. However, Kirsten is not finished with her speech because she adds, "But no, instead, not only you didn't do anything to look for me, but you also replaced me." And that's where I snap. I've been holding myself back. Hearing all the nonsense she's been spewing makes me sick to my stomach, yet I held on because I don't want to be crass. However, that last statement takes the cake, and there's only so much nonsense a man like me can take. "Well, that's pretty hilarious coming from you, Kirsten. And excuse me, I didn't search for you and beg for you to come back to my life like a moron? That I just replaced you?" I give a dark chuckle and cross my arms across my chest. That's rich coming from someone who just informed their partner that they'll be leaving them for a new one on the news. I smirk, staring at how Kirsten's face changes in color at embarrassment and anger at being caught. Serves the woman right, but if I want to have her out of my way, I'm going to make it clear to her right here. Right now. I take a deep, calming breath, but I didn't soften my tone. I want her to know I mean business. "Listen, Kirsten, I know you're just trying to confuse me, hoping to derail me on our next performance so you can get the gold, but I'm pleased to tell you that it won't work anymore. I haven't loved you for a very long time, and I consider the Kirsten I fell in love with when I was 16 is dead and gone. And somewhere in my heart, it wants to get away from this stranger and yearning for someone else. And that's when it hits me. I've never loved Kirsten in the true sense of the word. Puppy love, maybe, but real love? No. What I feel for her when I was young is leagues away from the one I'm feeling whenever I'm with Vanessa. Maybe it's time I say goodbye to Kirsten, and maybe we can just be friends. We're supposed to be on the same team, representing the same country, yet here you are, acting like a gold-starved maniac reaching for something that will never fulfill that insatiable greed of yours. So, friends?" I give her a tentative smile and hold out my hand. I see her eyes dart to the side, and before I can check a look for myself, she suddenly pulls on my hand, bending me down. She takes the opportunity to stand on her toes and kiss me. I froze in shock, but I quickly pull away. I hear a soft gasp to the side, and to my horror, I see Vanessa standing there with wide eyes. Before I can make a move, she runs away. Kirsten stammers beside me. "Isaac, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking. I'm desperate and—" I glare at her, shutting her up. "You disgust me. When you get the gold, I hope you're happy being with something as cold, inanimate, and unfeeling such as you. Make sure we don't cross paths again because I won't be responsible for what I'm going to do." My voice is filled with disgust, loathing, and piercing coldness. "Goodbye," I say with finality before walking away from her. I wonder how will I ever pull myself out of yet another mess she created for me.
Chapter 16. Vanessa. I think I'm on a sugar rush. I feel so giddy and so excited that Isaac and I managed to nab first place. I don't know how many times I've been looking at the leaderboards to make sure that I'm not just seeing our names at the top of the list. For all I know, I must have hit my head somewhere along the performance, and now I'm hallucinating things. For one, there's no way that Isaac and I are in first place, is there? I mean, I know that we're good, but to really see the results of that is dizzying, not to mention a little bit overwhelming for me. I can't deny that this boosts my self-esteem. I know that I'm not Kirsten, and I can never be her. Because, hell, I'm not a selfish, greedy diva who thinks the world revolves around her and exists to cater to her whims. It doesn't take a genius to see that she's one slimy, avaricious snake. However, I have something she doesn't have. Feelings, real, genuine, and unconditional feelings for Isaac. Who knows how long I've been standing on the sidelines, admiring and loving him from afar. I may have replaced Kirsten as his partner, but I don't know if I can ever do that in his heart. But I'm more than willing to give it a try. Not only that, but I also want to be able to prove to Isaac that I'm as good as a partner to him as his good-for-nothing ex, and maybe become an even better one. My face flushes at the thought, and I can feel my skin heating up as I lift my hands to cover my cheeks. I smile as I recall the moments we've been together since his family's party, and how we have fun together upon arriving in South Korea. And don't get me started with all the kisses we've been sharing together. I don't know what to think about what it means yet, and I'm afraid to find out. I'm terrified to know that we're only doing that because we're getting caught up in the moment. And if not, I don't know what to do. I might faint at the thought that Isaac is kissing me just because he wants to do it and nothing else. Fighting a giggle, I bite my lips and look around me. I frown when there's still no sign of Isaac anywhere. He sure is taking his sweet time in the locker room. I check at my wristwatch and decide that it might be a good idea to just fetch him. We still need to rehearse for tomorrow's free skate. Even though we're placed first today, I don't want to take it easy and risk screwing things up and have the other teams take it away from us. I want to get the gold for Isaac and show everyone, especially that ex of his, that I'm a capable partner. And there's no doubt in my mind that Isaac deserves it for all the hard work he's been doing since day one. I make my way towards the men's locker room and stop in my tracks at the sight that greets me. Isaac and Kirsten are kissing in front of the locker room. I can't see anymore because my eyes are starting to fill with tears. Not wasting another second, I turn and rush back towards the ice rink, slumping on one of the benches and burst into tears. The cold that emanates from the ice is nothing compared to the ice that I feel forming on my heart. And the cooling air in the rink is not enough to soothe the hurt that's been stabbing me in the chest. I thought I feel that Isaac's finally over Kirsten on the day he said those words during the interview back in the U.S. I believe that he's being honest and sincere with what he's saying. But I guess I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just deluding myself, thinking that he's indeed over her, so I can try my hand in winning his heart. Oh, but how wrong I am. Kirsten never left his heart, and she probably never will. Why did I even think I could make a difference in his life? I'm so stupid for even believing such a thing can happen. In actuality, I don't have anyone to blame here but myself. Isaac didn't lead me on. He never said anything regarding our relationship or lack thereof. I forced myself to calm down and dry my tears thinking about my options. If I can't have Isaac's heart, then I have to get something out of this competition. And since Kirsten still has Isaac's heart, I'll have the gold she's always yapping about. I'll win the gold, not for Isaac anymore, but for myself. I'm going to prove that Isaac isn't the only one who deserves to get the gold. For all the hard work and heartache, I'm sure as hell that I deserve that gold. Because I can't have anything else anymore. Nodding resolutely at the plan, I decide to just rehearse for tomorrow by myself. I stand up from my seat, just in time to see Isaac running towards me. The sight of him makes my heart sting, and at the same time, beat with the love I have for him. I push my feelings aside and face him with a blank expression. Vanessa, I can explain. I shake my head and cut him off. No need. There's nothing to explain, and I'll get out of the way. It's best if we just concentrate and focus on rehearsing for tomorrow's long program. Let's not let the competition take our place in the leaderboards. Before Isaac can respond, I turn around and walk away, leaving with my heart in my hands, beaten and broken. When I see that he's not following me, I give him a glance and say in a cool tone, "What are you waiting for?" Vlad's waiting for us at the rink for rehearsals.
Chapter 17. Isaac. This is bad. Vanessa still won't talk to me. Whenever I try to explain, she'd shut me down and tell me in a scarily calm voice to focus on the practice. The entire rehearsal is awkward, painful, and uncomfortable. I'm holding her in my arms, and yet she feels like a million miles away from me. This isn't how I wanted us to be right before our program. I didn't anticipate Kirsten cornering me either like that. I know that in Vanessa's point of view, she saw me kissing Kirsten. But that's not the case at all. Kirsten was kissing me. I never kissed her back. I don't even think I have the stomach to be in the same room as her, much less touch her like that. When she pushed her mouth against mine, my mind went blank. Not because I wanted her lips on me or because there are still some lingering feelings for her. I was surprised and confused with the situation. Why would Kirsten, the same Kirsten who but all abandoned me, come up to me and kiss me like she had every right to? It was already too late when I snapped out of it and pushed her away. Vanessa had seen us kissing, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Kirsten wanted. She must have seen us as a threat since we got the highest score in the short program and wants to play mind games with Vanessa. I can tell she succeeded. Vanessa won't talk to me now. No matter how much I want to explain the situation to her, she won't listen. If Vlad noticed the shift in her, he doesn't comment on it. When it was time to leave the rink, he pulled us aside and gave his final pointers for us for tomorrow's performance. I nod and try to listen to him, but my attention is still on Vanessa. All right. Vlad straightens up and looks at us. Go get some rest now. Ice what needs to be iced, and I'll see you tomorrow. Vlad dismisses us, and we say our goodnights. Before I can get another word out, Vanessa has already disappeared down the hall. I didn't get much sleep later that night. I kept tossing and turning, debating against myself whether I should head over to Vanessa's quarters and talk to her. A part of me longs to just break down the door, shake her by her shoulders, and force her to listen to me. Another part of me, the rational one, tells me that Vanessa wouldn't listen to me now no matter what I do. I must have only gotten a maximum of 4 hours sleep before my alarm wakes me. I get up and do my usual morning routine twice as fast, eager to find Vanessa. When I get to the stadium, Vlad is already waiting for me. "Where's Vanessa?" I ask, craning my head to look for her in the crush of the crowd. "She's already in the ladies' lockers getting ready," Vlad answers me, then knits his eyebrows at me in question. "Did something happen between you two?" I sigh and turn to Vlad. "Nothing you should worry about, Vlad." "Good," he raises a brow. "Now go get dressed. The competition starts soon." I make my way to the men's locker and put on my costume as fast as I can. I work on my hair, trying to tame it, and open my suitcase to grab my skates. After lacing on the skates, I grab my coat and shrug it on. Walking back to where Vlad is waiting for us by the area the team is, I notice a woman sitting next to him. It's Vanessa. She's got her coat on, but it's not zipped all the way so I can see what she's wearing under. She's not wearing the pink number she used in 4cc. I know she got a new costume for the revamped version of our long program, but I've never seen it on her until now. The dress is gold, imitating the gold trimmings from the Great Gatsby poster. The sleeves are dark and blends with her skin, making it look like her arms are bare. The neckline is embedded with faux gems and rhinestones. The skirt of the dress has gold designs that make the hemline look like feathers. Vanessa's hair is pulled back into a high ponytail, and the same rhinestones on her dress also show up in the underside of her eyes. "You look beautiful," I breathe out when I reach her. I wait for any sign that she's heard me, but Vanessa continues to stare ahead and ignore me. I give up and sit down next to her. We watch anxiously as pair after pair performs their programs. When it's Kirsten and Nathan's turn, I feel Vanessa stiffen beside me. I want to hold her hand and to ease her worries, but I know she wouldn't let me. At least, not now. "Vanessa," I start to say. "About yesterday I want to explain. It wasn't—" I'm cut off by the speaker announcing our names next. Vanessa gets up without looking at me. I sigh dejectedly and follow after her. I have to explain it to her, the sooner the better. I can't take this rift between us. We remove our skate guards and hand them over Vlad. I hold out my hand to Vanessa. I can see her hesitate for a moment before taking it. After all, we're about to perform a dance about lovers. We glide towards the middle of the rink, smiles wide for the crowd. "I can do this," I hear Vanessa mutter under her breath when we take our positions. I give her hand a gentle squeeze. "We can do this." Vanessa looks at me for the first time today. My throat constricts when I see the hurt and doubt shining in her eyes. I lean in and peck the side of her temple gently, angry with myself for putting those feelings in her eyes. I promise I'll make it right. At the first note, I repeat the mantra again and again in my head. We dance to the familiar music of the soundtrack, muscles moving from memory. We finish the first song and my heart soars because the dance is flawless. We can do this. I can give Vanessa the gold, I think to myself. We're doing a dance spin when I see Vanessa's toe pick-catch on the ice and trips down. The loud gasp from the crowd rings in my ear. Vanessa gets up just as quickly as she fell, not giving any indication as to why she stumbled on an easy spin. We continue on our program and strike the end pose. When the music ends, I wrap Vanessa in my arms and hold on to her tightly. The realization that we won't bring home the gold dawns into me, but the feeling of dread doesn't come. With Vanessa in my arms, I have ceased to care if we win or not. Hell, I don't even care if Kirsten wins. I just want to make things right with Vanessa. Everything else can get bent.
I hope you're enjoying this audiobook by Vic Savon. If you want to keep hearing more audiobooks, then please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It may seem insignificant, but the more people that subscribe, the easier it is to produce more audiobooks in the future. So please help us out and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and now back to your book.
Chapter 18. Vanessa. I've been doing so well. I'm in my zone, feeling the music, letting my body lead me to execute each move flawlessly and without fail. I do what I always do before and after. I'm on the ice for every performance. It's been hard, struggling to not cry myself to sleep at night, pep-talking myself that I can let it all out when all of this is over. For now, all my fears, my hurt, my heartache, I have to swallow them. I have to grin and bear it. Endure each and every painful moment I have with Isaac, shelving my feelings in the far corners and dark recesses of my heart and mind. I give my all during rehearsals with nothing in my mind but my new goal. Before stepping into the ice today, I've already braced and conditioned myself. I'm more than ready to get the gold. However, mistakes are made, and I know that I screwed up, because at one point during our performance, I caught sight of Kirsten in the audience. She looks so beautiful, serene, and perfect. She's everything that I'm not and everything the man I've always loved wanted. The memory of her and Isaac kissing in front of the locker room springs into my mind. Pain in my chest assaults my senses, effectively knocking me out of my zone. Disoriented, I struggle to regain my composure, but I somehow screwed up my footing that my toe pick catches on the ice, breaking my rhythm and making me trip. My trip could have made a weaker skater crumple, but I'm no mere skater. I managed to recover as quickly as I can, but I've no doubt that my stumble didn't escape the judge's notice. I thought it couldn't get any worse, but it just did when I felt Isaac tense beside me. I know that he knows I screwed up our performance, and it makes me feel bad. And when the crowd gasps, filling the rink with a buzzing mixture of mutters and mumbles, I have never felt worse in my entire life. That's it. We're done for. I'm done for. Why, oh why, did my eyes have to wander towards the crowd and latch on to the one face that's part of the reason for my heartbreak? Because just like that, I know that there's not a single chance in hell that we'll be getting the gold today. Apprehension, dread, self-loathing, and disgust churns inside of me as Isaac and I finish our dance. And as soon as we get off the ice, I know that he'll start talking to me about my little mishap, so I quickly got away from him as fast as possible. I'm pretty good at avoiding him until the final results are released. I know this is impossible, but I pray and wish to God that maybe he'll have mercy on me and let us take the gold home. I need to prove to them that I'm good. I need something that will make me feel better now that I know I can never have Isaac's heart. Surely, Kirsten can't have the gold in Isaac, right? The universe isn't that cruel, right? Right? Wringing my hands, I look up at the scores with wide eyes. With a point deduction because of my stumble, Isaac and I are in second place with Kirsten and Nathan taking the Olympic gold. And just like that, everything in me breaks. I paste a smile on my face as the cameras turn to each one of us, while the announcers relay the scores and our names. The crowd goes wild, but I can hear nothing. The thought that Isaac and Kirsten will be celebrating her win and that they'll be together is more than I can bear. I don't want to see any of that, and I need to get away. Once the cameras are turned away, I can't endure any longer. So without a second to waste, I turn and run out of the stadium, not bothering that I'm being blinded by my tears, while letting my feet take me anywhere, as long as it's far from the stadium. I just want to get away from the place that screams what a failure I've been. I don't know how long I've been running away, but when I manage to look up and wipe away the tears filling my eye, I find myself on a deserted balcony, overlooking the city. I brace my hands on the balcony and let my head down as I cry my heart out. I can still hear the cheers and yells of the people in the stadium, but it's faint. However, it's not faint enough. It just reminds me that I've been so weak to let Kirsten distract me like that, and what a fool I've been for letting her. I hope she's happy. She's got Isaac, and now she's taking the gold home with her. Is there nothing in this world that's for me? Will I always be a second placer against the great and perfect Kirsten? The depressing thought just makes me cry harder. Uncontrollable sobs send my shoulders shaking, and my tears are as good as waterfalls with how they keep on falling from my eyes nonstop. I don't know how long I've been crying my heart out, and I don't care, but all of a sudden, I feel that I'm not alone on the balcony anymore. Not bothering to clean up my face, I turn to look, surprised to see that Isaac's just behind me. The look on his face makes me pause. However, as much as I want to, I don't have the right to uncover whatever that look means. The bottom line is that I'm not entitled to think of Isaac as anything other than a partner on the ice and nothing else. I can still be a capable and supportive partner. Other than that, I have nothing to offer. I expect that Isaac is the same with me, and there's nothing I like better right now than be with myself. As I open my mouth to tell him to go away, leave me alone, and go back to his precious Kirsten, he suddenly rushes towards me, enveloping me in his arms. That's not what I was expecting, but I don't complain. And I can't, because the feel of his tight embrace around me only makes my eyes produce a fresh batch of tears. Vanessa, don't cry. I can't handle it when you cry. I love you too much, and knowing you're hurting like this, I can't. He whispers softly as he smooths a hand up and down my hair, and I feel it. His sincerity, the honesty in his voice, and the affection in his touch. My eyes fill again. My lip wobbles, and as uncute and undignified as it may seem, I sob and cry against him. However, this time, it's not because I'm sad.
Chapter 19. Isaac. When the scores are being tallied and the people are eager for the results to show, I never, not even once, turn to look at the scoreboard. I'm blind to the incoming results and deaf to the noises in the stadium. All of my senses are zeroing in on no one and nothing else but Vanessa. I know that she's going to avoid me the moment we get off the ice, so I don't bother chasing her. I know that she's feeling pretty bad for screwing up her footwork during our performance and making her trip. I've been watching her as she anxiously looks up at the scoreboards, wringing her hands and biting her lip as if silently willing the board to give her a score that will make us bring home the gold. However, I don't give a damn about that stupid gold. I don't care if the judges are going to deduct our scores. They can disqualify us, and I won't give two damns. What I care about and what I'm worried about right now is Vanessa. Even though I can't be near her without her running away from me again, I can at least watch her from afar. It's better that way than losing sight of her and wondering where on earth could she be. Here, standing just a couple of feet away from her, I can clearly see each and every expression she makes. While I watch, I struggle to think, hoping I can find something in my mind that will enable me to go to her and comfort her before the scoreboard shows the inevitable. Unfortunately, I ran out of time as the final results are revealed. My heart seems to wither inside my chest when I witness how the devastated look is etched on Vanessa's beautiful face. She manages to quickly wear a fake smile when the cameras go her way, but as soon as they're out of sight, her happy face mask collapses. The desolation returns to her face. I can see how she's breaking down within herself when it's clear the results show her that we're not going home with the gold. Her eyes fill with tears before she turns around and quickly leaves the stadium. I take a step to follow her, but I stop, hesitating. What if she doesn't want me there? What if she thinks I'm just there to blame her for our performance? Or will I just make things worse by butting into her alone time? A hand suddenly catches my arm and I turn to see Vlad standing beside me. He's also looking at the spot where Vanessa had been standing, and when he looks at me, I see that he's almost tearing up. It's not because we only got second place, but because I know the feeling of watching how Vanessa's usually happy countenance turns into a devastating portrait of sadness and defeat. And that hits me, making me realize that I shouldn't hesitate. And because I know what she feels, I'll do my damnedest to make her feel better. Moy Malchik, go to her. I don't know what happened out there and what happened between the two of you, Vlad says as he reaches over and pats my shoulder. But I know one thing. You're the only one who can make things right. Go and stop Zajcik from crying. Her tears are making my heart hurt. I smile at Vlad and nod at him in understanding before making my way through the crowd and out of the stadium. My heart pounds in my chest when I see no hair nor shadow of Vanessa in the hallways. However, despite the noise in the stadium, I can hear faint clips of heels on the floor, and trusting my gut, I follow the sound. It doesn't take long for the clips to stop, and soft crying sounds follow. Following that, it leads me to a deserted balcony that overlooks the city. I stop in place when I see her there, bracing both hands on the balcony's balustrade and crying. I swear, each pitiful sob that escapes her mouth is like a blade that sinks into my heart and slicing it from bottom to top. I hate looking at her like this. I don't want her to cry or feel sad. I know that part of her sadness is my fault, and I have a gut feeling that I also played a part in why she tripped during our performance on the ice. I'll be damned if I let this end without making things right between us. I square my shoulders and stride towards her, determined to fix the hurt and mend the wound I've caused her even if it kills me. As I stand behind her, she must have sensed my presence because she turns around and sees me. If my heart can wither even after all the invisible blades it has endured from Vanessa's cries, then it just did at the sight of her tear-streaked face marked by her mascara and puffy eyes. I've never seen a more heartbreaking sight in my life at the same time. I'm still blown away by how beautiful she looks under the sky, with the beautiful city view behind her. When she's about to open her mouth, probably to tell me to screw off. I didn't give her a chance and lunge at her, wrapping her in my arms tightly so she won't run away, and to give myself strength by basking in her presence in my embrace. Vanessa, don't cry. I can't handle it when you cry. I love you too much, and knowing you're hurting like this, I can't. My voice shudders with emotion, and since she didn't say anything or push me away, I take it as an opportunity to explain. What you saw between me and Kirsten, it's not what you think. She kissed me and not the other way around. If you had hung around a little longer, you'll see how I pushed her away. She tried to confuse me, throw me off my game so we'll lose and she'll get the gold for herself. But still, I'm sorry for the pain I've caused you by witnessing that. Vanessa sniffs. But you didn't. Instead, I'm the one who screwed up and made us lose our chance for the gold. Hey, listen to me. I pull away and frame her face with my hands. I don't give a damn about the gold, okay? I don't need it. My family and I are okay now, thanks to you. I don't have to prove myself because I know that I'm already more than good enough for the people who truly care about me. And I wouldn't have realized that if not for you, Vanessa. She smiles and gives a weak laugh amidst the tears. Really? I nod eagerly, more than happy that she's smiling again, and she's finally hearing me out. Yes, if you'll let me, I swear, and I promise that I'll make it up to you as your real boyfriend this time. I don't want us to pretend anymore, Vanessa. I want you for real now. She laughs and her tears finally stop falling. Do you really love me? I wipe her tears from her face with my thumbs and lean down, our foreheads touching as I stare lovingly into her eyes. Yes, I do. Even if your eyes are puffy, you look like a Halloween monster with that mascara on your face and with your snot all over my shirt. I love you, Vanessa Heaton. For real. She laughs, snaking her arms around my neck. I love you too, Isaac Yarrow. And just like that, it's as if the world has been lifted from my shoulder and my heart is no longer heavy anymore. Screw the gold because Vanessa and I won something much more valuable. We won each other's hearts.
Chapter 20. Vanessa. I sip my morning coffee, watching the sun rise. I've woken up before sunrise more than I would care to admit, but I haven't seen it like this. I guess for the first time, I can enjoy it without dreading practice or dreaming about medals and podiums. Leaning back against the soft rattan recliner, I think back to the previous year with appreciation. After we placed silver for the Winter Olympics, Isaac and I finally reconciled and made up. We finally began dating for real. When I asked him when our anniversary should be as a couple, he told me it's the day we started skating as partners. A month after the Olympics, we competed for Worlds. It was a pleasant surprise when we got the gold this time, probably because I didn't trip again and because I knew I have Isaac's heart. We saw Kirsten and her partner Nathan again, but I didn't feel the same sense of insecurity or fear that Isaac would run back to her. I sort of understand her in a way. It comes with being an athlete to always want to win. At the same time, I thought she should find something that means more to her than winning. For the following season, we were undefeated. Because of the numerous sponsorships we had, we managed to compete for all the major skating competitions that season. It was wild to think 2 years ago, I would never have thought to stand podium after podium. Isaac and I won a total of 5 gold for the skating season. When we received our second gold for Worlds, I didn't think I could be any happier. Isaac proved me wrong. Once we were up the podium and the awarding began, Isaac leaned into me and whispered, "I have an idea." I turned to him, frowning. What idea? What if we get married? Not fake this time like the dating, but a real marriage, one where you get to stay with me forever. To everyone else, my sudden crying might have meant tears of joy. They're right, but not because of winning the gold. Isaac got down on one knee right in front of everyone. He almost slipped off the podium in doing so, but he laughed it off. Meanwhile, I was too busy sniffing and not looking like a mess. Vanessa Heaton, he says, holding my hand. Van, I would absolutely love it if you gave me the honor of becoming my partner, not just on ice, but in life. I love you, Vanessa. Marry me, please. I don't remember what I told him exactly, but I know I said yes. I also remember the crowd cheering and gushing for us, but I also can remember Isaac whispering against my ear. I don't have a ring with me, but I'll get you one. I promise. Of course, I didn't care about the damn ring. I didn't even care about the damn medal. To me, I've won the biggest prize, Isaac. We got married shortly after. We had to postpone our honeymoon trip for a bit, though, because of the remaining competitions. But we're finally here in Hawaii. I can't believe I'm so lucky to be loved and to love someone like Isaac. Vanessa, comes Isaac's voice, shaking me out of my haze. Where are you? I sigh and put my drink down. I step back into the bedroom of our honeymoon villa. Isaac peeks at me from beneath the covers, one eye still closed. Where were you? He mumbles, pouting a little. His hand reaches out for me from beneath the covers. I woke up alone and I got lonely. Lonely? Are you kidding me? I raise a brow at him. You were so dead to the world you didn't even notice me slipping out. Sorry to interrupt again. I know no one likes missing out on a spicy grand finale, but unfortunately this platform won't allow us to air what's about to happen next. To make up for this, we're offering a 40% discount on the full, unabridged version of this audiobook when you go to VixAvaughnRomance.com and apply code VIXA40 at checkout. Thank you for listening to Vix Avaughn Romance.